everybody, it's Christine Clark from Taurus 9. Taurus 9 is Higher Mind Inspired. And I wanted to talk to you about my tri-sessions today and what's been going on lately and how I see myself positioned in what it is I bring to the table in my Zoom sessions. It's, um, it's an evolution of hypnosis that has just naturally come through me over years and years of experience as a hypnotist. But it really is what's happening is it's the clients. People are, first of all, far more hypnagogical than they realize or are willing to give themselves credit, or even know to even see themselves in that light. And we take that and we use that idea and that truth in the coaching space. And basically all we're doing is accessing the higher intuitive self to get the answers as to what's going on with the body. And I carry a kind of magic. I help people to relax. And when the body can soften, the mind opens, it widens, it's able to perceive and signal out far more optimally than what people have been giving themselves permission to do so. Or when they're out of that distraction, they're able to naturally move into their true nature and speak from that place. And it's magical, but it's also very, very natural. And a message that often comes through the higher consciousness when I'm channeling is we don't need to go out and talk to the tree and tell the tree when it's time to for its leaves to fall off because there's less light. And so to allow things to happen and to unfold, finding out that severe sciatica that's just not going away because we have a fear of money. These kinds of things can get found out when there's fears that are underlying. And courage can't exist without fear. So for people to show up for themselves and show themselves that they can be courageous in their willingness to open their minds to look at something differently is very inspiring. And passion cannot be bought. Passion needs to be inspired. So I get to watch people inspire themselves in this work, and they're on average length only 90 minutes, but what can be covered and what can be transformed is always the main root of what is blocking the person's health, their abundant health, their abundancy in resources, their abundancy in their spirituality. And things that can be discovered, like a woman who's bleeding too much when she's menstruating, or she's making fibers in her uterus. There time and time again that's come through because there was a lot of pressure put on the person to be responsible for the community's emotional state. And that's been passed down through the female lineage. And when the soul is choosing to join that soul group, it's always the women in that family that create this pattern, whether it's cancer in the reproductive organs, or if it's just physical imbalances to do with the reproductive energy and organs. To have this addressed and released, the body will heal instantaneously. So there are energetic healings that transform and then integrate into the bodied experience, into the reality of the body. And these things can be discovered and transcended instantly, and then in real time, in the linear space and time, at least, it takes a little bit longer. But when the person fosters the belief that they are healed, this is the difference between coming into the reality or being the experiencer, experiencing the experience or the reality of being healed, is is um, is the difference when you apply the belief, when you foster the belief, when um, you bring that plant home and place it in the window, and close the shutters when it's too much light. You remember to water that plant, etc. When when clients are encouraged from me, from a conscious space of authentic caring, um, it catches on. It catches on like wildfire very often, and it's always, of course, the clients that are ready for this kind of thing. Um, there's just a beautiful exchange that takes place between myself and them, and the healings can be instantaneous, and they can take a little bit longer, but they're always there. We're always just on the other side of our healing, and I want to inspire people to continue to be courageous and show up for themselves and admit when you're wrong. It's better to admit, especially to family members, when you've erred, even though in the moment you have not, that wasn't your intention, or you were unaware. If you dig deep enough, you'll find subconsciously that there is usually an old wound from childhood that led you to say that thing when you said it. And sometimes we're aware of it in the moment, and we're just waiting for the shoe to drop, or, someone will come to us and inform us that this has created an issue. And the first instinct for the ego will be, it will want to defend itself because it's terrified of making a mistake, and um, because it's not intending to do harm. It's just unaware and asleep. So when we awaken those sleepy aspects to ourselves, we can transcend. It's always better to just come clean and be willing to have a look at the fact that first you did err, and that it's okay to say I'm sorry. This is not necessarily actually what I was doing in the moment in my awareness, but I see subconsciously this is what this is. This kind of thing, or this kind of way of thinking, can go a very, very long way. And everything is addressed and brought out onto the table. And we distill the process down by not letting the ego go on and on and on and tell the stories, get into storytelling, because storytelling is a way of dodging the healing. And as a practitioner, that doesn't work for me. I've entertained that way of working for many, 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 many years, and it adds hours and hours and hours and hours upon hours on the session, and it just is a dodging mechanism. So I can be quite clear and quite concise in the way I can guide you in terms of how I best can help you. And if you're willing to work with that way of approaching things, then that's a really strong likelihood that we are going to be a good fit to work together. I love to help people. A lot of people are coming to me because they think they're going crazy, like they're really ready to check themselves in and into an institution or go on a medication. And I've been able to help people understand that, yes, okay, there's craziness going on anyway, both within us and around us, but how to look at that from a loving standpoint. And be more loving towards ourselves and stewarding our own ship. Um, and togetherness and autonomy, the balance of being together and having that autonomy while being in that energy of togetherness within our communities can be very, very helpful. And one of the things I use in my communities is I put a pink bubble around myself and the others, and we're just a cluster of pink bubbles. And this helps me with my own autonomy because I carry or I'm burning out the energy rather of martyrdom and over helping and over giving from a space of just abandoning the self. So this isn't even really me anymore. And it certainly isn't how I work. However, every now and then it pops its head up and still wants to try to run the show because I've just carried it over so many different lifetimes. So I'm just going all over the place, and I realize that, but I'm just sort of giving you a taste of where this work can go. It really goes to where it's needed. It's distilled down, and I'm very passionate about igniting and holding the space while people find their brilliance, while they put their best ideas into the ethers as they share with me, and I help them with that as well. You know, pull out your best ideas and pull out your brilliance and let's talk about it. It doesn't always have to be about pain and suffering. It can be about getting to that next level, getting to that next goal, not allowing your fears to and your doubts to take over and prevent you from action, because love in action wants to be actioned, and resources come from love. So we're just tapping into a pure loving space, a pure loving energy. And how that happens really is not something that you can explain. There's no words for it. I don't try to understand the details around it because I am myself and my clients are opening to be clear channels for this pure undiluted love to come through. And I'm so happy to be making this video and sharing this with you. And if this inspires any kind of hope or redirection in the little tidbits that I've sort of sprinkled and scattered all over the place, then great. These are seeds that are intended to be planted, that there is always another way, to not give up, to soften and sit with the thing that just feels shitty or gut-wrenching, or odd or off or foreign. We've all been getting foreign a lot lately, and there's a lot more light here on the planet that we can work with, and that light is mixing in with our carbon existence, and our plasma is increasing, the plasma that we carry within us and the plasma that is attracted to the plasma that we carry within us, to join more of itself from higher dimensions and galactic and angelic frequencies. So it's magical, but it's also nature, and it's natural, and the new human is here, and it's birthing itself through all of us. Whether we're just meant to hold the energy so that another can birth themselves, or whether we're doing both, or we're just using others in a give and take balanced way to just birth ourselves. It's all happening. It's all happening. And we're often answering our own questions and solving our own problems um, without even realizing it. And this work that I do um, helps people with that. So that's it for now. Until the next time, I love you.